am the Eride Broski, and this is High Voltage Buffalo, New York. If you're here after watching my first video, God bless you, and thanks for giving me another shot. I know the first video wasn't that great. A lot of mistakes were made. I was really rushed and in a hurry. Just excited to have my bike, so if you guys can look past all that, let's hop into this next video. What we have is axle blocks. I saw these on a couple of bikes. I thought it was pretty cool, and I think it'll add a little bit of flair to my bike. So what we're going to be doing today is just showing you guys how to install this stuff. So with that being said, let's get right into it. Before we get started, let's get the tools that we need for the job. So we're going to need a 5mm Allen key, a 6mm Allen key, a 10mm open end wrench, and a 17mm socket. Let's start with these two bolts right here on our caliper. Go ahead and set your bolt in. You can see it's got the blue Loctite on there, so we will also be using blue Loctite to put everything back together. We don't want anything shaking loose. All right, now that we've got our two bolts holding our caliper on, we can just take that right off and let that hang for a minute. Once you remove your caliper, you're gonna wanna loosen this nut here. So once you get it loose, you spin nice and easy. Now that we have those block tensioning bolts loosened, what we can do is get ourselves a 6mm Allen key and a 17mm wrench of your choosing, and try and loosen the rear axle nut. I'm going to use old Makita here to help me on my journey. Call it cheating. Holy moly. I got 3 bars here. We got movement. All right. That was easy. All right. I guess we can keep that on right there. Okay, now when you go to pull your axle out, watch for your brake caliper, or your brake caliper mounting bracket, because that will fall right out. Move her forward, see if we can't get our chain off. All right, we're free. So now what we can do is get our axle blocks, and they will be marked with a L and R, and let you know which side they go on. Now you can take your 10mm open end wrench and run these out the rest of the way, if you can't do it by finger. You know, a lot of people are nervous to take these bikes, well, you know, to work on their own stuff, because they think they're gonna mess something up. And you know, I'm a big believer in doing things yourself. You'll never catch me hiring another man to come to my house, because you know, I know I can do it myself. If they could do it, there's no reason why you can't do it. And if I can do it, there's definitely no reason that you can't do it. So I encourage you all to try and do your own modifications before you take it to your local shop or anything like that. And you'll get more stuff done because you're not going to have to pay the third guy, you know, to do your stuff. So I highly encourage everybody to do your own projects, you know, within reason. And while you have your rear tire off, what a good excuse to get in there and clean out your swing arm. I know she's a street queen, and she ain't too dirty because she's still brand new, but I'm still going to take this opportunity to go in with some cleaner and a rag and wipe all this stuff down. So these are our new axle block tension bolt, I believe is what you could call them. And you're going to want to go ahead and run these in a decent amount just so you're going to be able to get, you're going to want to get your rear tire on and get your chain on. So your axle blocks are going to have to be a little bit further up. So run these in a good amount. All right. That goes in nicely. Perfect. Let's do the other side. All right. So now that we have our axle block tension bolts all the way ran in.
Please don't drill me for the 409. My detail spray is on the way.
You can see there is a cutout right here, and this is meant to fit that right there. So that helps out a lot. So what we can do is we can go ahead and make sure we remember the orientation of the bracket. Set it right there. Make sure we got our clearance, which we do. And then it won't be hard now to make sure we are lined up with that guy, and go ahead and just push it right into place where we need it to be. Okay, that's all right. We're still in business. We ran this guy. Perfect. All right, now, while we got our axle blocks all pulled in, we can make sure that our chain gets on there. There we go. All right, now we've got marks on the bottom. We also have marks on the bottom of our swing arm so that we can line this side up with the other side. Now, obviously this is sloppy. We want just barely an inch of play in our chain. Let's go ahead and put our washer in here. And we also can start threading our nut on there. Beautiful, beautiful. Now that we've got this just on there, you know, and through. We made sure that our washer was on the outside. We're gonna tighten this, and we're gonna pay attention to our chain tension as we do this. That way we got a nice tight chain. Oh yeah, she tight. She tight. Now, I'm gonna look underneath here and I'm gonna see where we're lined up at. All right, and we're gonna do the same thing to the other side. We're gonna back this out about even to where we had it on the other side. My furthermost rear line is just over the second to rear line, so I'm almost there. I'm gonna give it a couple more turns, and I think I'm gonna call that a day. Make sure you tighten that down nice and securely. Everything's really looking good so far. What we're gonna next want to do is throw our caliper back onto our rotor. So set her back on there, right? Get a little bit of the Loctite. You want them loose, and I'll tell you why. Because you want your caliper not to rub. So you get them down just so they're hand tight, all right? And then what you're gonna want to do is reach back and grab your rear brake, right? Grab your rear brake and then give it a tighten while you're depressing your brake so that your caliper is centered, and when you're riding you won't hear your brake pads squeaking down the road. I don't know exactly how many Newton meters it's supposed to be. I think it's Guten tight is the word for it. You know, as long as you got the blue Loctite on there, I think you'll be safe. Looks pretty cool. All right, guys, we are all set for this project. I count that as a success. Let's get a full look at the old girl. Oh yeah, thank goodness. All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of High Voltage Buffalo, New York. Hopefully I helped you guys install the axle block pegs. For those who didn't know how, it was a pretty straightforward video. I have been putting a pretty decent amount of work into editing and making these videos. If you could do me a favor, smash that subscribe button and like my video, I'd really appreciate it. All right, so you know what it is. If you ain't ripping, you're tripping.